Gary, we went down to Werribee by 27 points in round 16. We tried pretty hard for most of the afternoon, but overall a disappointing result in the end.
Yeah, of course, Sam, because we're wanting to win every game, and obviously our expectations are high. And if you go back a month ago, we had that consistency in our performances, and of course we had an even contribution. So we obviously fast forward in a month, we haven't won. And if you look at our game on Saturday, I thought we were better in some areas. We had 10 scoring shots in the first quarter. Unfortunately, it was 4 goals, 6. They were 4 goals. Their efficiency was something that we noted when we've done a little bit of opposition intel. Second quarter, I thought we had really good field possession for the first 7 or 8 minutes, but just couldn't score, and they defended well. It took a lot of intercept marks inside our forward line throughout the course of the match, and then they were able to go forward and score a relatively easy goal. We hung in there for the next probably 7 to 8 minutes, and then they scored 2 fairly easy stoppage goals late in the second quarter, just before half time. I thought we then improved our rating in the third. Unfortunately, what was happening was we'd get a goal, then they'd get a goal, so they always had that little bit of a buffer. But having said that, at 3/4 time, it's only 19 points, I think the difference was anyway. And then I thought for the first half of the last quarter, we were just able to get repeat entries. We kept persisting, so I thought our attitude to play better defensively throughout the course of the match was an improvement of the previous week. But then we just turned the ball over when the game was probably on the line. And obviously the way you make mistakes at this level, or any level really, the opposition will be able to turn you over and score. So they got those couple of goals late in the game, which then sealed the win for them, and we obviously have to lick our wounds again. But again, we said that we needed to show an improved effort, which I think I got that, but again it wasn't enough to obviously what we all want, which is a win.
We saw you have the players behind closed doors for quite a few minutes after the game. Without giving away too much, are you able to elaborate on what the message was to the boys immediately after the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I can give everything away, Sam. It's not rocket science that we're not playing well. We're down on confidence, so it was me asking the players from their own personal point of view what they actually thought of the game, and they were disappointed. They thought, again, as I said before, we were a bit better defensively. We handled reasonable amounts of pressure throughout the course of the match, but we weren't good enough for long enough, and when we don't play well from a pressure point of view, the opposition will score and score relatively easy. We identified the fact that we got outmarked defensively, and then we didn't take enough marks throughout the course of the match, and that's really our game. We identified the fact that we turned the ball over when the game was on the line, unfortunately, so that's a lack of, I guess, real conviction with our skill and the technique with it. We thought our stoppage work, even though young Michael Wen got his hands on the ball, we still didn't get enough out of the stoppage work. So really that was it. Oh, the only other thing they said about it, of course, there's still a lot to play for in the last month of this season. So it's all relatively, I guess, common sense. But someone once said that common sense isn't very common, so we're not playing anywhere near like we know we can. What do you put it down to? Lack of confidence, lack of conviction in the way we play. We're not taking too many risks. We've got a lot of players that unfortunately have just lost form over the last month or so. Some haven't had continuity, so I think when you review the last month, it's all pretty easy to understand why things have fallen the way they have.
We had a few changes again with the likes of Liam Fiore plucked from the Murray Bushrangers as 23rd man, as well as Jared Blair and Michael Wen, who was actually named best for his game in the ruck in place of Tom Goodwin. You must have been happy with his output at least?
Yeah, ruck work from Wenny's point of view, but he certainly didn't take enough marks around the ground, and obviously that's part of his individual role that he needs to get better. Yeah, Blair, he certainly contributed, but he showed the rustiness with not having played. I didn't think his skills were as good as they should be at senior VFL level. Young Liam, he just gets an opportunity because that's the way the format is with the 23rd rule, and again he'll be certainly understanding of what's now needed to play when he gets another game. So opportunity knocks at this particular level. It's a good development rule, so we'll continue to do that if and when we've got opportunities. So really outside that, I thought Dion Johnson going to half back, that was certainly a move that I thought gave us a little bit of positivity because he does use the ball pretty well, and which probably bases his game around being a defensive forward anyway. Lockie Waddell took a few intercept marks. He's got to certainly improve, as do all our boys, and we've got to take our game to another level against Coburg this week.
And what are going to be some of the key focus points ahead of that game, because we're now in a position where we're pretty precariously placed on the ladder and not much margin for error.
Yeah, well, that happens, of course, if you don't win, but certainly the season's not over. So we've got Coburg this week, who started really well. So it's very, very simple. We've just got to do what we know we can, which is defensively better for longer. We've certainly got to be more offensive. We've got to improve our skills, and we've certainly got to hang in games right till the very end. So there's only 4 little things that we need to do. But again, it's up to the individuals to take that on board and be accountable and responsible for the improvement.
Well, Gary, bad luck again on Saturday, but another home game coming up this week. We hope to see a big crowd in what's a must-win clash, and fingers crossed we can get back on track against the Lions. All the best.
Yeah, look forward to it, Sam. Thanks.